Hello there and welcome back to a 1v1 between our red player playing as the Poles versus blue Bouncy Bear playing as the Mongols. This is going to be a roughly 1400 elo game. I'm not quite sure why the elos aren't pulling up. Something's up with my capture age because I don't have the civ icons at the top either. I can't look at the tech trees. But the good news is I'm actually pretty fairly well acquainted with these two civs, so it shouldn't matter too much. Sorry, I did not upload a video last Friday or this Monday. I had a bit of a hospital visit with my wife. We're expecting our third child soon, so that might be a little bit sparing when it comes to video uploads in the near future here, but still, apologies for not getting a video out at that time. I do plan on releasing a video as consistently as possible every Friday. Monday will probably be bonus videos more than anything, so I can't promise Monday videos every time, but we're definitely going to try and keep up with Friday videos at the very, very least. And so, yeah. Okay. Very good scouting, it looks like, from our Mongol player. Let me look at this real quick. Yes, very decent scouting, but that is to be expected with the Mongol scout line of sight bonus. So he's going to be getting all of his res. This is going to be a rather interesting matchup, and this is about pretty much exactly the elo I would be at. If I queued up, I think I might face either one of these players. I am a bigger fan of the Pole civilization, though I don't play them as much. Missing the final cav armor is definitely a knock, probably against both these civs, actually. So that's something I very much enjoy having, and I don't really like playing civs without it. If I'm picking civ, obviously. If we're going random, then it is what it is. So I'm kind of in the corner of this pole player. I kind of want the pole player to win. I really want to see how this pole player tries to navigate this matchup, because the Mongols are very, very strong, both in early game and then in the late game. Now, I think Poles probably are going to be stronger in the hyper late game, just because that's the nature of Poles. But that being said, it could be rather interesting to see exactly how these two players play, and if they, you know, try to utilize weaknesses against each other. This is a higher elo. It's mid elo still, but maybe the higher end of mid elo. I don't even know if I can say that. Regardless, I think we could see some interesting plays. I'm kind of hoping maybe from the full work. Oh, for the chickens there, we're on. Is this rabbit going all the way around the tree woodline? That's very funky. Sorry. Full work is not finished from our pole player, though. He is sending one more vil to get that. All right. I would like to see maybe from the Poles potentially crossbow play. I mean, that's my go-to when it comes to facing Mongols. I don't have really good cav bonuses. However, Poles do have very, very good cav bonuses, especially once they hit that castle age. Bulwarks are going to be able to help them out with scouts quite a bit. In fact, they can even do a tower rush alongside the scouts. So there's definitely a lot of options for Poles to go for that isn't just the traditional crossbow timing attack against the Mongol player. So it should be rather interesting. We do have Loom coming in, I would say early, except for it's Mongols, so they'll be clicking, yep, right up to feudal age right after that Loom. He's going to be pushing in his deer. I think that's a neutral deer, in fact. A nice little catch there from our Mongol player. That's going to be extremely useful for him, as he does have a hunt bonus as well as the Mongols. And we're probably going to see a much later feudal age. Maybe not a much later, but we're looking like at least a 20 vil feudal age from our pole player. I don't think that, or sorry, 19 vil, 20 pop, my bad. I don't think that's a bad idea. Mongols are almost always going to beat you to the feudal age, so you don't really need to rush against them, but you do want to make sure you get down a barracks to pop out a spearman or two, because scouts will be coming the moment those Mongols do hit their feudal age. Excuse me. Just burping a little bit. Probably shouldn't record videos right after I've had dinner. Might not be the best idea. Alright, a second lumber camp is coming down for our pole player. So not too much is going to be sitting on food. A decent amount, enough to obviously pop out scouts if he wants to, but I really don't think that we're going to see too much of a commitment from our pole player in the scout department. Just getting an inkling. I could be completely off base. We'll find out if I'm wrong or right. Full work is a pretty hefty investment for I think what was only 6 rabbits. That being said, full works are pretty good. Obviously, you're going to want to be putting farms on him, so maybe he walls on the outside here to the stone, and then he's able to put farms on that full work eventually. But I do think you're going to want a full work over here pretty quick. So putting a stable as well as a full work down would be quite the investment. I do believe what we'll see is just some spearman defense immediately. 2 vills on the stable is going to have blue scouts coming out relatively quickly. Again, very fast 18 pop-up time. I think it was 18 pop. Very little TC idle time from both of these players. Good walls already getting started for our pole player. And it does not look like... Well, he does have the wood for it. Let's see. Where's the stable? Are we going to put a stable down? We're going to go for another full work. All right. We are going for a stable. I won't hate it just yet. That's probably what I would do. I definitely autopilot and still want to just do the same builds no matter what my opponent is doing. But the scouts will definitely be in favor of the Mongols just because of how quickly their uptime was, as well as they do have a little bit more food, I think, res collected wise because of their hunt bonus and being able to push in a deer as well when the poles have none. But early spears are coming out. There is a full work coming out as well. Ooh, I think you want to pop that wall out a little bit more. That's denying maybe not 2 whole farms. Sorry, not 3 whole farms. But there's not going to be a farm placed in there. I would pop that out just a little bit, but... Oh, no! Alright, we're just abandoning full works. So I don't even know if this player plays poles. Very interesting. I am quite surprised with the placing of these walls next to the full work. They're not really taken into the aspect of how good that full work is. I really think the wall should be going up this direction, so we're just kind of alienating that one full work there. I'm not sure I like this so far. The Mongols aren't really going ahead with any of their scouts, though, so very little aggression has been going forward. By the time he gets over here, our pole player might be fully walled. Maybe not fully, but it's going to be much easier to defend. Are we popping out the scouts? 6 scouts. That's a rather late rush. You kind of want to go forward with like 3 scouts. This is how many scouts you want to go forward with, like a team game, because you want to actually have a military presence that can beat entire feudal age armies. You want a little bit more of a commitment. From the Mongol player, 6 this late is a little bit potentially too late, but Red has gone forward with his scouts just to kind of see what's going on. So he doesn't have too much military at home. Looks like we've only got 2 spears. So we might want another spear coming up, although Blue's coming right back home because he saw scouts run into his base. They might be able to pick off a single vill. Looks like they will be able to. Quite an interesting turn of events here. 2 scouts bring all of them back home for the Mongol player. That's an open vill, but he's going to be just fine. These scouts are going to come in and take down the rest of this aggression. 1 vill for 2 scouts is probably worth. I think either player will be happy. There is a fair amount of idle TC time, though, on the Mongol player's side, so he's actually down 2 vills at this point, almost 3. And again, these scouts should have been at his opponent's base dealing a whole hectic ton of damage. Instead, his opponent's going to be almost fully walled. Is he going to be able to catch this? Oh, he doesn't even know where his opponent is. Pushing that neutral deer maybe turns out to be a less good idea. See if he clicks inside the base. He will. Okay, he's going to run around. And I don't think the pole player is going to be able to get this fully walled in time. So the Mongol player is playing very safe with these. Nope, he's going to all in on these spears. He's going to be able to take out both these spears, and he is probably going to be able to take out this villager as well. Quick wall from our red player. Saves one of the vills. Well played. I never do that at this elo. I think lots of people don't do this at this elo, so quite impressive, though he is going to... Oh my gosh, he's going to lose this vill, for sure. So 1 vill down, Eco KD does even out. But I think most of the aggression from this Mongol player is going to be caught. This will get finished walling relatively soon, and then he's only on 4 scouts, low HP on both those. He's about to run under the TC. Oh, okay, he almost lost another scout there. And 2 spears. No, 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 no. Our Mongol player is letting these die. Oh my goodness, okay, that is the aggression dead. A single scout left over for the Mongols. Definitely not worth it. Only 1 vill for 5 scouts. Oof, that really hurts. Dang, he can't hit the farms. I was totally off. What am I doing, dude? I thought that was too close. Look at that. You can definitely fit all the farms. So beautiful from our pole player. I still wish he had walled this direction up here. He could have used a second full work, but this is going to add a whole lot of food to the pole player eco, and that is actually super integral. He's going to be able to click up to Castle Age here relatively quickly. So is the Mongol player as well, though. He's just looking for a little bit more gold. Still behind on about 2 vills, just mainly from the town center idle time. But they're both going to be clicking up to castle relatively quickly. Mongols do click first. The Poles are going to be waiting for a little bit more gold. Quite a bit of inefficient mining on some of these. You might want to build a second camp or just get a mining upgrade and put less vills on gold. Either way, they're going to come in with all the gold you need, and we'll be clicking up to Castle Age just behind this Mongol player, not by too much at all. Decent situation for both these players, though. I do think we're starting to favor the Poles potentially more. It definitely depends on if Poles tries to do some all-in damage here against the Mongols. Mongols are going to have a bit of a faster Castle Age time, but they do have a weaker economy. Surprised we haven't clicked Castle Age yet. No wheelbarrow as well. So it's weaker, but it's actually not as efficient. Sorry, the Mongol player eco is weaker, but it's more efficient. Really nice walled area though for the for the pole player. Got a back gold as well. The Mongol map is rather open, so we could be seeing more scouts getting pumped out. Probably gonna be light cavalry coming in for our Mongol player. I'm okay with that, I suppose. Though you do know there's very likely gonna be knights coming out from the Poles. There's no gate placed in any of these walls, so he's not going to have easy exits for these knights until he throws one in there. Could always just delete a wall. About to chop through that wood line anyway. Adding plenty of houses behind. Definitely going to keep himself quite safe. Alright, Mongol player has gone for a second stable. He's getting light cav, and I do imagine we'll be seeing a bunch of steppe lancers or knights. There's not a lot on gold, so probably steppe lancers from the Mongols. There is going to be a TC thrown down on the stone, so he is going to look to get a castle here eventually. All right, husbandry coming in. That's rather early for husbandry. I myself would prefer to get a few knights or steppe lancers on the field first, although he is going for a siege workshop, so forward push on siege is definitely going to be quite a play. I think our Mongol players should be fine with that though, unless there's... Well, the knights will come out here the moment we hit castle, surely. Alright, that last light cav does go down. Knights are coming out, and our Mongol player is making knights themselves. Okay, so we'll have about equal number of knights, though there is a light cav advantage for the Mongol player, and he will have siege coming out. I don't like a scorpion. I think scorpion's quite useless at this point. You're definitely gonna want a mangonel. Just to put some forward pressure on your opponent's buildings. Scorpions do very, very little damage to buildings. You can also get a really good lucky hit in with a mangonel, and you can do plenty of damage to actual targets here. All right, second TC coming in, already built for the Mongol player, obviously. And then stone on both, so interesting that both players are going for stone. The pole player wasn't really utilizing their stone bonus this entire time, so I'm thinking that they probably are not a pole picker. Maybe a bit more of the random civ player. Definitely gonna want to put a house or something behind this barracks. It will go down relatively quickly with that many cavalry hitting it. Camels are on the field, which is super duper ideal. So you can kind of just circumvent that with maybe a monastery and a couple of monks. I don't really see our pole player going for that though. I guess he could delete these palisades. He'd still be able to put all the farms down that he wants. Yeah, I'd like to see a little bit more action from this pole player. There's the monastery coming in. It's going to be much too late. Well, he can fight the light cav. This will be a very good engagement for the pole player. He's going to be able to take out all of these light cav for free. The camels are not there to fight them. Neither are the knights to even out the fight. So all the light cav go down basically for free. They might get one vil, so not entirely for free, but 6 or so light cav for a single vil is definitely not worth it. So military advantage, I think, is now in the Pole's favor. He can probably just walk over and just shut all of this down. 2 camels, 2 knights, and a couple scorpions is not going to fight off 10 whole knights. We have armor upgrades on these guys. We do. +2/+2, and he's just missing the final attack. Well, not final attack, the second attack upgrade. Final for Castle Age. Let's just take the fight, man. You destroy all this. The monk's gonna come out. If he takes the fight right now, he gets all of this. Oh, he's waiting for his own monk, I see. I'd like a little bit more confidence from this pole player, though I guess it doesn't matter too much because he does have... Well, he doesn't actually have a bit of an eco lead. He's actually got more town center idle time at this point. And still no wheelbarrow as well. Good engagement, though. I think he'll be able to win this fight. It's a bit costly, just because he does get 1 knight converted, and he's fighting against camels, but he does convert a camel himself, so totally worth it. It's probably going to shut down most of this forward aggression from the Mongol player. Vil does go down, and that does pretty much even out the ecos for these two. Though the Mongol eco is much stronger at the moment because they have wheelbarrow, and the Poles do not. So you definitely want to get wheelbarrow at this stage in the game. I guess you're only on 15 farms, so maybe it's excusable. But I'd like to see wheelbarrow clicked. Certainly sooner than later. 3rd TC is coming down for the Mongol player, and he is going to be getting some camels down. Wow, I'm very surprised not to see a castle. 4 TCs for the Mongol player. Very, very interesting. No castle is going to be going down. The Pole player himself will be able to throw down a castle. He's going to put it right on the front to kill the rest of all this aggression. I'm quite fond of that idea. I think that's really, really strong. Put it in front of your base, defend a couple of these resources, gets a hill, and it also denies whatever forward structures your opponent has put there. So I might want to see these knights going forward at this point, though it's not that they could do too much damage. There's 4 town centers at his opponent's base, not that he knows this, and a whole lot of camels. Let's see what his vision looks like. Yeah, he is aware of where his opponent is. He had obviously went in and killed the 1 Vil with those scouts. By the time the castle does go up, all these buildings will already have been destroyed. I don't think we're going to see too much more knight production, though we probably, if we're not going to see any more knights being pumped out, we're definitely going to want to see more town centers. I think a town center over here. I don't know if you could fit one over here. But I'd really like to see a 2nd TC from our pole player. Monk should be coming over to grab this relic as well. So a little bit slow to the punch on both of these things. Mongols are kind of just getting some free booming at the moment. They're up 2 town centers, which means their Vil lead is increasing, 71 to 64. Sorry, 73 to 64. And they have enough camels to not really be too worried about whatever army Poles have created. I really want to see, no, don't go for bulwarks. Like, bulwarks are good, don't get me wrong. But you need more Vils, or you just need aggression. Sriracha is coming in, okay. We need like 2 more stables down then. I don't mind Sriracha at all. I really like that, in fact. If you're gonna go for more full works, that actually makes a lot of sense. You need more food since you're just making the knights gold cost cheaper. What we need to see is a lot more stables. Sriracha is in. I just want to see a permanent production of stables, sorry, of knights. We also want to get that last attack upgrade. Make them even more worth their stat line. You probably want to finish off that house. Don't go into the TC. All right, he did see the camels just momentarily. Wait up, go back, heal up. You've got monks. Take a monk over, a couple monks over. Bring in the relics, heal up your knights. Get the last attack upgrade you need. It is coming in. We don't want to fight without that in here. That's a whole lot of camels. We absolutely lose that fight. So just run home. Run home. I'd like to see a bit of a counter unit coming up. Maybe some Obuk. Not that that's a counter unit, but it definitely does better against the camels. Sorry, I'm kind of rooting a little bit here for the pole player because I want to see him win this. I've just run into too many Mongol pickers in my life, I suppose. Castle potentially coming down here for blue. I do not believe that our pole player will catch that, and even if he did, he's got a whole lot of camels to try and fight through first. It's only going to be 8 Vils on the castle, so it's not going to come up super quick. He might get the chance to try and deny it. This is going to be permanent knight production from our pole player, and there is not a lot of res to encourage the Mongol player to go up to imp anytime soon, so Permanent Knight production could be very, very, very strong at this point. These knights are probably going to be cleaned up, though. I don't think that's the play. Running back, I really want to see a couple other units. Where's the Obuk? Can we get Obuk? Can we get... I mean, archery range. You could go for an archery range and a couple of archer upgrades. Throw out some crossbows. That would be really, really good against the camels. I think we're just going to be brute forcing it with knights, but at that point, we're going to need to start taking some fights here. And I really wish we had some monk support. Okay, the monks are coming up. All right, this could be good. This could be very, very good. This castle for Mongols is definitely decent, but it's not actually going to influence too much of the main fight that's going to happen up here. So we're going to see any Mangudai coming out? Doesn't look like it. Monks are coming up. Heal, heal, heal. Hold on to that hill. We have 23 camels versus 25 knights. Are these camels fully upgraded? They are not. They are missing the last, or sorry, 2 attack upgrades. So I do think at this point we win the fight. We can go in and fight. We have numbers advantage and upgrades advantage. Looks like he's gonna try and convert a camel and he's gonna go in. This could be super duper good. If we win this fight, it's just cascade effect from here. We even have a hill bonus. There's gonna be so many camels getting absolutely wrecked. Couple conversions, and this is massive. The Mongol player might think this is the fight for him, but I really don't think it is. 19. Yep, he's backing off just in time. Don't know that it's going to matter at this point. He's gonna have to evacuate a whole lot of villagers. Castle being right here in the middle of his base might have been nicer at this point. But knights are just ransacking the place. Really, really good engagement from our pole player and just constant production of knights streaming into this Mongol player's base. This could be the GG relatively soon here. It depends on how well this Mongol player can hold on. He has a whole lot of res, to be honest. He could click up to imp and still try to defend this with camels. Conversion coming in on that camel. He's getting so much value with these monks. I absolutely love it. Fresh knights coming in, full HP on all these knights. And the spam is not stopping. We are on 6 stable production knights, just streaming into the Mongol player's base. Mongols don't really have a bonus for their camels, so this is gonna be GG relatively shortly, especially if Red sees that castle coming in, which it doesn't look like he will. So maybe if Blue gets that castle up, he can buy himself a little bit more time. There could be a chance he sees it. It's gonna be too late. The castle will be going up. Knights just running all over the base. We've killed a whole lot of villagers. We ourselves are not making villagers behind us, though a forward castle is going to be dropped. Quite happy with that. I think Obuk being added could be really, really useful. We're almost to the knight numbers where we can start diving TCs. In fact, we are. 27 is oodles. Diving this TC would be really, really strong, I think. It's just so many knights. What do you do? Man, pole farming is so incredible. 35 farms, 6 stable knights, and he's still floating 1,000 food. I think Imp was definitely actually a mistake from the Mongol player. The moment he lost his massive camels, like, you have to figure something out. Maybe pikes. I don't know, though. This is just so many knights. Absolutely so many knights. He's gonna try and double down on camel production. I'm not sure how much that will matter. The cost effectiveness at this point, I don't think is in the camel's favor. They've got 1 attack upgrade. They're getting a little bit closer. Villager's gonna fight off this 1 camel. That's cute. There we go. Imp is clicked for poles, though Mongols just hit it. I do imagine we'll see some... Oh, look at that, 1 Mangudai. We'll probably see some Trebs coming out soon. The sooner the better. There we go. That'll take care of this castle. But that's not the problem. This castle is not a problem. The problem is the 32 knights at the front of your base. Lots of castles created here for the Mongol player. If he can manage to hold on, he definitely has a shot, but we're just losing. We're bleeding so much eco. I think it's gotta be GG. And this pole player, I think, played immaculately, and he definitely played towards his game plan. Maybe a little more aggression here or there, maybe better use of units here or there. However, the one thing I'm disliking the most at this moment is I want to see these town centers get dove. Just run under, hit the thing 5 times, it dies, you kill all the vills, go to the next town center. And do that to every town center that's not underneath the castle. So you got at least 2 free town centers you could take out. Trebs are coming in. I think our pole player will probably panic and try to take that Treb out. Isn't necessarily the worst play, but honestly, just abandon the castle. There's no reason to stay there. Imp's gonna come in. We'll see Cavalier and then the final attack upgrade for the poles. I think Mangadai could be a decent call from our Mongol player, though I don't think he has the eco for it. Only 5 on wood is really atrocious. Ballistics is being made though, so obviously he's thinking about it. He just took ballistics. Here come the knights to try and snipe that Treb. It doesn't look like any other Trebs are coming out, so this will actually buy a whole lot of time for that castle. Ooh, all those vills are gonna die. Camels are gonna get sandwiched. They're underneath a castle. Oh, those vills all make it to the castle, so they're just fine. Yep, time to back out. Definitely back that out. As the knight player, well, I guess we're choosing to fight underneath. That's gonna be losing a whole lot, but GG's called regardless because he does see his opponent has also made it into Imperial. Very well played, very, very well played. That was fascinating. I didn't really think, I kind of forgot about Sarlacha privileges for the Poles. And I think an extended Castle Age into Sarlacha was definitely a very, very strong play. Mongols probably needed to go for either a pike transition or honestly fully walling your base. That can slow down, maybe stone walls even, to slow down the night push and them diving into your eco. It could have bought you a little bit more time to maybe get some Mangadai production. So definitely, I don't know. Could have been interesting. I think the biggest mistake from our Mongol player was just holding on to up to 6 scouts before he went forward. He probably could have sniped a whole lot more vills if he made it over there a lot quicker, and that could have changed the game entirely. So hopefully you did enjoy, and thank you for watching. I will talk to you later.